Okay, today is the 14th of July and I'm frustrated because I just get snowed under with garden work, housework, and I don't get a chance to do a little rant. And people do spontaneous rants on their smartphones. Obviously, I don't use a smartphone. Why blast yourself with microwave radiation just to say something? So anyway, I've got my laptop. I've only got the one. I never got around to getting a second one. I have to move it and then set it up here, blah, blah, blah. So I'm making a wild attempt. So 14th of July, 2021, and I'm a bit delayed with this. I'm a bit delayed with fucking everything, haven't I? Anyway, delayed by a couple of weeks. So I have to use code words, don't I? So if you imagine Egypt, right, and you go to the north of Egypt, the Nile River branches out into this thing, and it's very fertile. They do a lot of fava beans. They do, the whole lot is grown there. And I wish I wouldn't do that. I mean, really, Joan. On the chair, sorry. It's just like something I do. You think there was something up me hole. Anyway, that's a bit rude. Anyway, oh yeah, I wanted to say, if I use any swear words, I'm from Dublin, so we do use these words as adjectives or adverbs. And if you don't like it, well, I'm sorry. That's the way I am. And if they come out, they come out. You know? So right, back to Egypt. North of Egypt, and the Nile then naturally goes out into tributaries, out into the Mediterranean. So that's the thing I'm going to be talking about. And I'm going to give it a word, I'm going to name, I'll call it Delphinia. Delphinia? Delphi? Maybe Delphi is easier. So I wrote them down. See, and I out the fucking door here, Joan. Do you know what I mean? And it's not spontaneous because it's like old. Anyway, so right, let's just talk about this thing. Now, I'm going back to my screen here. I was down... I can't see myself now. I was down a lane, having a walk. And I'm going to press pause that. Now, pause. Now, it's back on again, isn't it? It is. Resumed. So I was down for a little walk. It was a few weeks ago, and down a local lane, and I got chatting to this lady who was taking in her washing. So we had a grand chat, and the subject came up, and I said, I just don't mind at all. I said, I'll be doing extra things now, blah, blah, blah. And then she informed me about the Delphi, and first I heard about it. And she said she got the two, you know what, and she was starting to feel like a guinea pig. And I said to her, well, just know your own onions. So anyway, as I walked away, I said, right, I'm going to flip this around. I said, that sounds like a military term, doesn't it? So I said, just thinking, I'm choosing a different word here. Delphi, incoming craft. You know? So I said, well, I'll duck, go that when I get home. So I duck, go it. So one was an object shaped like an equilateral triangle. So now, and then it's a Delphi. It's a Delphi is a brainwave. Now I'm using a different word, okay? So it could either mean you're really asleep if you don't get it, or, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be sounding cynical, I really amn't. This is just my persona when I'm on camera. You know, that you must be really fucking asleep. You must be really asleep if you don't fucking cop on now. Or, it's to do with connection to God, so that's a good thing. In other words, it's making you really think and get connected with God. So, but then back onto the old military terms. Of course, I can't read this, and Bravo Zulu, Sierra hotels. Like for instance, Delphi, Sierra, phonetics for dumb shit, describes a stupid action and erases all previous Bravo Zulus and Sierra hotels. Oh yeah, this was interesting. And then I came across Delphi Force. And so, see, there's the Navy things, and there's other Delphi Force are real yet clandestine special operations, blah blah blah, blah blah blah. So I said, great. I said, maybe they're doing undercover work. This isn't coming out very well, Joan. I really thought I'd be funnier. You see, that's the trouble when you do it a few weeks later. So anyway, if you can think of some new words, I was on Facebook yesterday. I don't go on it much now at all. And somebody said, any more names? So I said Lamborghini, Vauxhall, has me over a barrel variety. So Lamborghini variety, Vauxhall variety, have me over a barrel variety, pull the other one variety, me BX variety, and yeah, so there you go. So but I was excited when I thought of that word of the Delphi, the thing with the tributary things. I kind of said, oh, I said, I like this. Sounds like a code word. You know, I'm loving it, actually. So I see the more positive side of it. I'm not going with the narrative, as obviously I don't. And I see it as a positive word. And any words after that is going to get even more hilarious. So if you can just see the funny side of it all, it's a game being played out big time. Though there is the flip side of a very fucking serious side. Really very serious side. Oh, fucking awful. Just pause again. What else do I want to talk about? The concept of waking up. Well, to wake up. What does that mean? To wake up. People kind of bandied about and they think, what's that about? You know, some fucking thing that you do is, well, one thing it is not. You do not wake up in a great bed with Egyptian cotton linen in a hacienda with the most exceptionally fantastic view of the sea. That is not what waking up is. In fact, waking up is screaming into the floor a lot, wanting to push yourself underneath the carpet, pull out your teeth, strangle the banister, and that's the physical reality of waking up. Also, just kind of, and then realising, what the fuck did I just, by my free will, engaged in? How could I have possibly allowed myself be involved? Because you wake up in the middle of it, basically, or near the end of it, and you say to yourself, and this is going back, my first experience of it was back in my 20s, and I honestly said to myself, how the fuck did I allow myself, you know, because I was pretty strong, actually, you know, I had good boundaries about things, you know, but still in all, one has to go through these learning experiences. And how the fuck did I allow myself to do that? And because you're right in the middle of it, and that's when the work starts. And you must take it one step at a time, and you must take it one day at a time. You must forgive yourself. You must be gentle with yourself and find support, appropriate support, as in vitamins, as in somebody to talk to maybe, but ultimately it remains with you. In other words, you are your higher authority, and you must, when you're walking down, say by a river, you must absolutely stop yourself from any attempt to think, oh, that river looks really inviting, let's just go into it. You know, I remember experiencing that down Galway actually back in the early 90s. And the Corp has this energy around it. It's very lulling, especially it's full rushing through Galway city. And many a person has jumped into that river because the energy is very lulling, very kind of come in, all will be well if you just throw yourself into this energy, this water. And I remember walking across the bridge, one bridge in Galway, and I literally had to duck my head down as I walked past because of the energy. I'm not saying it's a negative energy, I'm just aware of the energy. So I was just aware of it. I had no want to do that, but once in my life I did feel it once, very briefly, down in the canal down in Leitrim, and this thought pondered through my head, you know, if I just went into that water. But immediately, the survival instinct in me is very strong, but it's not to say that I, like others, you will feel like as if you're on the gallows. There is nobody there for you, nobody to vouch for you, nobody to say she's innocent, or I support her, or I want to free her, or him or her. Okay, so you have to be, I'm sorry to say, take it one step at a time, one moment at a time, and do not, whatever you do, go on those tablets, because they are straitjackets, as somebody coined, straitjackets for the soul. There was a psychiatrist, he's dead now, in Glenageary. He had dialogues with depression, I think it was his programme. Anyway, I'll be honest, it was once in my life, I'm curled up in an armchair, and I said, that's it, I'll have to go on those things. And since I've been aware of them since the early 80s, you know, since I was a young teenager, I was aware they were out there, and I had an inner loathing and hatred for these things. And probably since the 90s, they've been promoted more. So I'm not going to apologise that if you're on them, I'm not going to sort of say, oh, well, I understand. Well, I do understand. But I'm just saying, be careful. It is like putting a lid on top of a bin of stuff that you need to look at. That's my little giving out bit. So there was once in my life, I'm curled up in my armchair where I was living, and I said, that's it, I'll have to go on to them. And I just managed to email a friend who happened to be away somewhere, and I just said it. It was just a thought, you see, I wouldn't be dogged by it for days or anything. Or was I? I can't remember. Anyway, so I wrote, and thankfully, all I needed, I got a reply saying, no, back to me. Like, already I knew it was not a cool thing. Absolutely. So how did I get onto that? All right, yeah. Best not to, because it is a straitjacket for the soul. You are a human being. You have emotions. You have unconscious. You have subconscious. You have the collective consciousness. And we all need to do the work. If we don't do the work, things won't change. And people need to... Oh, this is something I was saying to somebody earlier, the other day. And I was talking about a certain thing that's happening in restaurants and pubs. And I said, people need to take personal responsibility I'm sure there's something else I was going to... Personal responsibility. Anyway, I'm not very good at re-saying things. But anyway, press pause. Okay, I'm aware that, if I say something on this video, it's like stuck in stone. But nothing is stuck in stone. Say somebody has a rant on a video, they've been cathartic. They've said what they had to say, and then things move on. That doesn't mean to say whatever I've said is like stuck in stone, or is the truth, or not the truth. It's just me in this moment with words coming out of my mouth, and I'm not the best at talking about stuff. I am and I amn't. I've just been very, when I'm with people, I'll talk. I had a great conversation there last Thursday, 4-way conversation. It was lovely. It was a 4-way, equal sharing, listening conversation, and that was great. So, where was I? About waking up. Yeah, you're not waking up in a hacienda with Egyptian cotton things. No, you're not. And so you hear this phrase bandied about. You see, there's ones who are going around being all fluffy. They're out there and they're going into fifth dimension and whatever. I say a lot of them haven't connected with the dark side. I mean, we've all got a dark side. We've all got a shadow. We've all got, you can't go skippity through life. You can't. You fucking can't. Neither can you give your authority to an outside source, who we're talking about. And it's a lifelong thing. You don't suddenly wake up and go, oh, I've seen the light, or I've screamed my shit out into the floor and that's it, and ultimately I want to be better, and not better, just uncover stuff and whatever. It's continuous. The work is continuous. So